Welcome, everybody. I'm going to find the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, population standard deviation, the 10% trim mean, and the data count for my data. Now, for any data, pretty much. So I've typed in some numbers here. This is my data that I have, 57633241102. Now, to find the mean, by the way, I'm using the Microsoft Excel 2010 book, and you can actually find the things that I'm looking for on page 10 or page 30 of the book, at the bottom of page 30 and the top of page 31. So to find the mean, I just wrote in mean, median, mode because this is what I want to find. There's nothing happening here. These are just titles that I'm going to find. I'm going to find and put the data in the D column here. So to type in and to find the mean, I click on the box next to the mean to the right. I go to my insert function box. I click on that. And I want to find the mean. Well, if you look on page 30, the mean is just another way of saying average. So in Excel, you have to write average. Now, you can write it exactly as it says in the page 30, or this box will find it for you. So in this box up here, it says type a description. If I just start typing, and I'm going to write in average, and then I'm going to hit go, and I see different averages there. And if you look, I'm looking for the average, the top one. Go to page 30, it'll tell you exactly which one that you're looking for. So I'm finding average. I click on that, and I hit OK. And if you notice up in the FX box, it says average, and then it says A2C2. Now, we're in the A2C2 box here, this AC2 box. But to find the average of our data, I'm going to click on my data. I start it, left-click the mouse box at the top of this data. I watch how the box changes. I scroll down, and it goes all the way to A10. So I let go, and in this box it says I'm going to do all the data between A1 and A10. When I hit OK, it gives me the average of that data. Next, I'm going to find the median. Click on the median box where I want my answer. Click on the insert function. I'm going to type in median. Hit go. Hit go. There it is. And median's the top one. Good. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to do it for my data again. Start at the upper left. Left-click my mouse. Scroll down. Let go. And hit OK, and my median is 3. Find the mode, click on my box where I want the answer, insert function, type in mode up here, hit go, and there's the mode. It's highlighted in the mode, so I'm going to hit OK. What do I want the mode of? I want the mode of my data. I'm highlighting my data on the left-hand side there. Hit OK, and I have my mode. Standard deviation. Click on my data. Hit FX. Now be careful. If you type in standard deviation, you may not get what you want. Let's try to do it. Standard deviation. Let's see what pops up. And I get a lot of different things. Now, if you go to page 30, it shows you what you really should be typing in for standard deviation. They want this one, the third one. This is standard deviation, STD-FV, for the sample. Standard deviation. I hit OK. Then I have to select the data. Scroll down. I have all the... I highlight all the data, hit OK, and I have my standard deviation for my sample. Now I want to do population standard deviation. Click in this box. If you look at once again on the top of page 31 of your Excel guide, standard deviation population is a little bit different. Let me click on the F of X box and see if I can type that in. Standard deviation, population. Let's see what happens. And I get a lot of different ones. If you look at the top of page 30, once again, we're looking for standard deviation with a P there. The same standard deviation we kind of used except the P after it. Hit OK. Highlight this data. Let go. Hit OK again. And we have the standard deviation population. Okay, now 10% trim. Click on this box. Hit the FX button. Now 10% trim, you're going to have to look at the top of page 30. How do I type that one in? 10% trim mean. Well, let's just try to type in trim mean and see what happens. Trim mean and see what happens. And there is a trim mean button here. I'm typing in trim mean button. I hit OK. Did I hit OK on the right button? For some reason, it doesn't look like I hit the right button. Let's try that again. Trim mean, there it is. Hit OK. And now I'm going to select my data. Scroll down. Watch what happens, though, when I hit OK. It says you've entered too few arguments for the function. To get help with this function, click OK to close the message. Then click Insert Function located on the left equal sign of the formula. So do you see that didn't work? Something happened. There's something else you have to type in when you type in the 10% trim mean. There's something else. If you go to the top of the page 31. So let's try it again. I'm going to hit the function. The trim mean. We highlighted this. We've got it. But let's read the top of page 30. Or the bottom of page, the top of page 31, it says trim mean, the data range, and the percent. It says returns a trim mean based on the total percentage of the data removed from both the bottom and the top. If you want a 5% trim mean, implying that 5% off the bottom data and 5% off the top, you will be removed, you will have to type in 0.10, which is the decimal equivalent for 10%. So if you want 5% mean, you have to type in, or 5% trim, you have to type in 5 for the top and 5 for the bottom, which is 0.10. We want 10% trim, so we want 0.10 for the top, 10% for the top, and 10% for the bottom, which means we have to type in 0.20, the decimal equivalent for 20%. 10% trim means 10% off the top, 10% off the bottom, so you have to type in 20% in decimal form, 0.20, then hit OK, and you have your 10% trim. And the last thing, we're going to count our data. How many data? I can see I have 10 data, but let's count our data. Click on the box, hit F parentheses X. Count data is just count, C-O-U-N-T, and hit go. And there's the count button. I hit OK, and I want to count my data. Hit OK again, and I have my data counted. So we just found the mean, median, mode, sample standard deviation, the population standard deviation, 10% trim mean, and the data count for the data that I gave. I hope this video helps. I think the hardest part here was understanding the 10% trim mean. That 10% trim mean really means you have to type in 20% in decimal form into the percent box. If I was doing 50%, or let's do 20% mean, I'd have to type in 40% because it's 20 for the top and 20 for the bottom. I hope this video helps. Have a great day.